Wait, it's looking like we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're working on a little bit of a just kind of a hobby update and just a basic general discussion about the heavy bolter teams that I finished off for my guard run. So these guys are the second ed teams. Of course, I did a little tutorial on them previously. And I really like the way they kind of turned out. They're a little frosty from the pure seal that I normally use, but I really like the way they turned out here. So now the funny ironic thing that I think is hilarious is that they're all on wheels because basically going to be moving constantly now with that plus one data or whatever. So much better than firing off the old school snapshot. So really cool. Now I'm really liking the way the heavy bolters came through. There's echo. You know why? Webcam. Let's see. Excellent. So I'm wondering if there's maybe a little bit of an echo. How is that? Let's see if there's an echo there. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I just did an update to XSplit and yeah, it reset a few of the settings on me here. All right, wicked. And welcome to the stream, Hobocron. Good to see you. So what I'm focusing on with these guys is basically just getting them all kind of set up. I'm working on a bunch of las cannons to go with them as well. And the fluff goes that these guys are my 13th company, so they were on maneuvers when the Chaos guys started hammering down on Cadia. So they actually went to a warehouse and pulled up some really old armor, old weapon systems and all that, and basically just took the fight back to everybody else. So awesome. Thanks, Hobocron. Appreciate it. So really enjoying the models themselves. There's lots and lots of detail, and they got lots of kind of spirit to them as well. And of course, with them being on wheels, they'll be running around all the time. So really thinking that's pretty awesome. So so as far as these Cadian guys go, is a little bit of a review. They've got lots of detail on them. Obviously, they're all the same poses, which kind of blows, but it's not too bad. You can see I've got guys, facing on different sides and facing different directions and away and all that, trying to add just that little bit of extra variety for it there. So I guess part of the stream I wanted to talk about as well was just the unit itself, and how I'm kind of using the unit in the game. And so, as I grab my book here, I'll just switch over to the next. So we've got the Heavy Weapon Squad stats here, as I drop my phone, and I'm really liking the fact. Now, I don't like the fact that it takes up a heavy support choice, but it's only 3 power, and you get a whole lot of mileage for them. You can see that they've got a move of 6 inches, so they can still move, which is great. They hit on 4s. They attack on 4s. Not fantastic, obviously. They're straight vanilla guardsmen there, and you can also see that they've got low strength, no toughness, but they've got 2 wounds. Obviously, that's because we've got 2 dudes kind of sitting there. And they've also got a leadership of 6, so you don't want to get these guys shot up too much. But if you park a commissar in the background, I think you can really kind of keep these guys alive, which is fantastic. It doesn't make them fearless, but it effectively makes them fearless. They'll take 1 wound or something like that, or every time they lose a model, they won't lose additional ones. Now, really liking that. Now, as far as the heavy bolters themselves go, oh, by the way, they're like dirt cheap, which is awesome. So the heavy bolters themselves, it's actually kind of the ideal weapon in 8th. I'm really liking as I grab the page here, I'm really liking the way they have the strength of 5. Now, the strength of 5 is kind of a magical number because um, it basically beats everything. So if you got a Marine, you got a toughness of 4, and you'll roll 3 plus to hit it, and it just gets over that mark, which is pretty cool, as opposed to what you'll get with, say, like a bolter. If you go up against a strength 5, a toughness 4, you just kind of beat it. If you go up against a toughness 3, you beat it, but you beat it by, kind of one too many. Whereas you're investing all your time and effort into multiple shots at strength 5, which is great. So you're always rolling 3 pluses. And if you happen to run up against a tough 5, then you're rolling evens, but it's not too bad. But the big thing is that -1 AP. I really think that's pretty awesome. And of course, it's only 1 damage, but I mean, you're mostly going to be shooting down infantry with that. What I also really like is that it is a heavy 3, not a D3 or a D6 or anything crazy like that. It's a heavy 3, so you're reliably putting out 9 shots with these guys. So assuming you're hitting on 4s, you're going to hit between 4 to 5 of them, and then hopefully, that attrition kind of works its way down. But as far as things go in 8th, really liking the way they're performing. So pretty neat. Now, as far as the orders go, I'm really digging the orders that we can provide to these guys as well. I took a slide here. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that can affect these heavy weapon teams. The main one, of course, let's kind of go through them. So you got the take aim, so you can reroll hits of 1. So basically, if you're hitting on 4s, you're going to be re-rolling a third of your misses, which isn't too bad. And it's where they're weak is on there to hit, not the damage side, right? So the take aim stuff is awesome. First rank fire, second rank fire doesn't apply. Now, bring it down is pretty cool as well, because if you're dealing with that 3 plus, now you're dealing with the attrition you're going to be missing on 1s and 2s. But if you can re-roll your 1s, well, now you're re-rolling half your misses, which isn't bad at all. Forwards for the Emperor, obviously you can move and advance your heavy weapons, and then you're only hitting that +1, which is fantastic. And then getting back into the fight, obviously, well, you're not going to be falling back. These guys are definitely not going to be falling back. They'll either tie somebody up as a speed bump, or if they do get close assaulted, well, maybe they will fall back, but only open up with the rest of your guard models. So, and then of course fixed bayonets. I don't think they're necessarily going to charge. And then of course the move. So if it's it's not going to be charging anyways. But I don't think. These things you're going to just put in a spot and just shoot like crazy. So. No, I'm really liking the way the heavy bolters have kind of come into their own in this edition. The strength 5 is awesome. The -1 AP is pretty solid as well. And I'm really digging the fact that you can get, although it takes up a heavy support choice, I'm really liking the fact that you can get for a 3 power, if you're playing narrative, or for not that many points, you can actually get like a decent amount of firepower. Now, the truth is, most people are just going to up and ignore these. These guys are just going to range in. They'll probably go for your las cannon or your autocannon or your missile launcher teams, but they'll mostly ignore these heavy bolter guys. So you just kind of put them in a spot and just pound away. So really liking that element to it. Now, for the modeling side, I forgot to mention that I base these guys on 50 mil bases, and they work out pretty well. And they'd also work out pretty well for 2 guys standing there as well, the new Cadian models. The 40 mil bases just seem a little bit too small, I guess, and having them on a pair of the 25 mils might just be a little weird, trying to move the 2 guys around, keeping track of who's the shooter and who's not. So a bunch of 50 mil bases are on order from my local game store at Imaginary Wars there, and I'm going to be putting my autocannons on there and waiting. Once I get those in, then I'll finish off. I got 3 more heavy bolters, and I've also got a couple autocannon crews that are based on the same chassis down at the bottom here. So really digging it. Helsing Nova 1988, hello from Denmark, and thanks for doing the stream. No better way to start your day at 5:50 a.m. Yeah, well, what's funny is I was trying to get this kind of midday throughout most of Europe, but by the time I upgraded XSplit and had a bunch of stuff going on with life, it was a little crazy to get out. But I'm going to be coming up with a little bit more regular of a streaming schedule. So good morning, Helsing Nova. It's I'm glad my voice is the first one you hear in a morning. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, but yeah, just doing just a quick review here on these guys and how they kind of play out. Just recently I played a game with them and really dug uh, just their general impact on the game. I like the fact that they were wrong screen. Whoops. I like the fact that they were, like contributing constantly and not getting shot up too much. As I was saying previously, they kind of the targeted guns were essentially the autocannons and the las cannons and all of that. So I thought it was pretty good. Now, what's interesting is before 8th edition dropped, I was thinking about doing a 13th battalion is what I'm calling these guys, kind of the unlucky 13th battalion. I know it's cliche and been used forever, but it's who these guys are. And then they came out with the battalion detachment, and it was absolutely perfect. I've got, take my minimum troops, and then I can get a whole bunch of elites and a bunch of heavies and things like that in there as well. Now, these guys will take up one of those precious heavy slots, but I think they're absolutely worth it anyway. So it's a good thing. Good. But no, really enjoying the way these guys are coming along so far. The next little bit is going to be focusing on the las cannons. I think that's going to be my next project I'm going to get done. And I'm also working on my Leman Russ. I've got 3 of them, 3 chassis, all kind of figured out a different way, and then I've modeled up the different turrets for all of them. So I'll be working on that throughout the next little bit here as well. And of course, I got my Primaris Marines on the march as well. I'm glad you like them, Helsingova. It's yeah, I think they're really cool. The retro element of it. I mean, these models came out, I think it was 1994 or something like that. And well, what is interesting is by collecting kind of the older models, you've got something that's totally unique and different. And the colors, these guys are all done up in a classic kind of Cadian scheme. This was using new paint techniques. Obviously, you'll see in the tutorial video that we've got, using different washes and using kind of a contemporary color base. But these are the classic Cadian colors. You've got the khaki and then the deep kind of greens that go on in here as well. And I'm really liking them. I also like the fact that all the ornamentation and stuff is done with the silver, the not the bulk. It used to be the Vulcan metal, but the lead belcher, and then of course the Runefang steel to kind of highlight it. And they don't get anything fancy, no ornamentation at all. Even their personal jewelry and squad markings are all done in the silver. So, but this is the beginning. This is kind of the first completed set that I've done. Completed to the point where I've got the bases all set up here anyhow, and I've got all of the flock and the static grass in there as well. And these are basically right out of my general playbook for the grassland bases. So yeah, really digging the way they came out. Hey Clay Dog, hello from Australia. I am painting my Stormlord at the moment, so a guard video is great timing. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've got a Baneblade I want to kind of put together, and the Baneblade is essentially together. I've just got to get the colors in, but working on the latest kind of iteration of the tank here, man, does it ever soak up a bunch of paint. Maybe I'll bring it into view. Now, I guess this kind of goes with our heavy bolter conversation, but I've got a Punisher that I'm working on, and man, did these guys take up a load of paint. I cannot believe how much paint these guys actually soak up. So I did a basic kind of white primer, and then I went in and kind of did the color. So I did the Castellan green and of course the khaki. So I'm essentially emulating the same colors that we have with our troopers here, and I'm going to be echoing that with our tank here. So I'm really liking the way this guy's turning out as well. The turret is converted. Basically, it's an old Forge World Conqueror turret. And then I went in and cut off the Stormbolter part because I did want the heavy stubber. It was all those strength 6 guns for forever and ever and ever. The Strength 6 was awesome on these, and it had the 3 shots. And then in addition to that, I did the Gatling turret. This is kind of a Tau burst cannon, and I just took the extra rods in and then set it all up at the front. But I really enjoyed the way that the way that the old Conqueror turret was set up with the searchlight built in and all of that. So this has been my work in progress for the last little while. So yeah, I'm really liking the way the conversion turned out too. It's been so much fun putting these guys together. I absolutely have been a guard player over and over and over, and I've had models that were, I won best painted, and I look back at them and oh man, they're not. One of our local tournaments, I looked back at them and they were okay, given the latest and greatest, kind of paint schemes and all that. But I really wanted to do older guard with the classic paint schemes, and I wanted to kind of up them up a whole bunch more. So I'm going to probably do a painting tutorial on this as well. But to be honest, I'm just kind of figuring out the scheme and the way that I want it spread out. So now this goes back into that whole Strength 5 conversation with the Punisher cannon pounding out those 20 Strength 5 shots. And of course, if you've got your commander, like a tank commander coming by, you can come in and put the beat down on this. I've also modeled my main dude here up at the top to be like Pask. So I'm actually going to be using him as maybe a Pask or maybe just a general tank commander. But man, that really high ballistic skill, or I guess low ballistic skill now, is really going to make a huge difference. And then of course he can issue orders to the other tanks as well. So yeah, really having fun with these guys. And we're going to be doing a couple battle reports coming up. And I think, the guard, I'm kind of in a big push to get that all done. I've also got my Primaris Marines now, which I'm almost finished up. It's going to be the third part in the series is coming out this week. And then I really want to work on the Nurgle guys. I'm stoked to see how they turn out. So that'll be the next round of painting tutorials. But in the background, I am slowly and constantly grinding away at these tanks. So really loving it. I suppose I could say really 10 more times. It's I guess I'm really enthusiastic about this whole mess. So yeah, sweet. So what kind of projects are you guys working on? I hear that we got a Stormlord being worked on out there, and what are you doing for paint schemes for that? Is it kind of a classic guard, or are you going Vestroyan? What's going on with that guy? And of course, there's a huge delay in chat as we go along as well. Now, the idea here is to mix these up with the different turrets. So I've got a body that we've got 3 heavy bolters on. The other one's got 2 multi-meltas and a las cannon, so more of an anti-vehicular conversion. And then there's a third one, and I know it seems a little weird, but it's got a las cannon on the front and no side sponsons as well, just to force a little bit of differentiation anyway. Really think it's cool. You gave your Predator Leman Responsons. Awesome. It might look a little more 30k that way. Be pretty cool. Yeah, I think there's all kinds of interesting modding you can do with your tanks, and I think there's all kinds of interesting opportunities that are available to us. I can also bring in my las cannons here. Hold on. So the las cannons here, they are essentially going to be obviously my las cannon heavy weapons teams, and they're coming together quite nicely as well. Lots of color to them, and these are going to be the next ones that I finish up. I'm not sure if you guys would like to just sit down and paint while we're streaming, that type of thing, but I might set that up at a further time, and maybe we can just kind of paint together and shoot the breeze. I think that's I'm a big fan of community for sure. Claydog says, is Death Corps a Krieg for all his guards? So you're doing a World War II German theme. awesome. Have you come up with the color for the tanks yet there, Clay Dog? Uh, there's a great scheme that I was doing for my Flames of War tanks, and it's super easy with like that kind of desert yellow and that kind of death forest green, just for the stripy patterns and all that. Helsing Nova, I'm trying to do my 35k Tyranids done, and then on to Death Guard. Oh man, is that 35,000 points, or is that 35 as in 30k and a half? 35k Tyranids is a massive project. Actually, speaking on the topic of Tyranids, one of the things I'm really enjoying is the fact that I'm pushing these guards so hard is so that I can have them join my Genestealer cults. And I can double task basically so that whenever I paint for a set of models, I'm actually painting for my Genestealer cult, I'm painting for my Tyranids, I'm painting for, kind of my Codex Imperium armies as well. It's 35,000 points. Well, that is an endeavor unto itself for sure. For me, I just kind of struggle. I try and focus down one task at a time. So you can see I've got one squad, and I'm all proud and happy and doing a stream about it. But I'm sure I'll do more as we kind of go along. So I'll show the completed Las Cannon teams probably either by the end of the week, but or maybe next week. But I've got to finish off the heraldry for the Primaris Marines for that painting tutorial, and I should be back into it. So should be pretty cool. But 35,000 points, man! Imagine doing that without the big guys. If it was just all little guys like guards. So even the Leman Russ tanks aren't all that expensive points wise. So it adds up pretty quick. But I wish you the best of luck, Sarah. That sounds pretty epic, pretty monstrous. So that is essentially what I wanted to talk about. I know it wasn't a very long stream, but I really am thinking it's pretty sweet. I'm really liking the way they came together, and I'm let me know what you guys thought of the review of the heavy bolters and kind of what I find appealing about them in the game anyway. And then when we do, if you're interested, we'll do more when we finish the Las Cannon team. We'll talk about Las Cannons and kind of how they're deployed and rolled out. And yeah, obviously, hit that like button if you like this short little stream here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next little bit. We're going to be doing some games. Obviously, I'm pounding these guys out so we can do some narrative gaming. And in addition to that, we're getting ready for Wargasm, which is this massive, basically monstrous game that we play up here in Calgary. And it's last year we had 40 guys all playing 40K and Sigmar, which was fantastic. And this year we're going to be doing a bunch of interconnected scenarios where your objectives on one table will affect what happens on another table. Or you might have something, if someone has the beacon up, you'll be able to bring in different units. Or if someone has the force field down on the beach, you'll be able to cut corners. And we're going to be having, 3 sizes of games going on simultaneously, all affecting each other. There'll be a big apocalypse table. We've come up with a custom means to do the combat, because that's going to be kind of the big stickler. So we've got a way to do the combat. We're going to be having these kind of mid-level battles where you've got two players on a team with 2,500 points, and that'll take up half a day. So you only get 2 games of those in a day. And then we've got this special operations level at about 1,000 points. It's 750 to 1,200, something like that. And those are going to be affecting, so these small operations. And if you think very much like the Rogue One, where you got these small bands of people all interacting to pull off big effects for larger battles, that's kind of the look that we're going for. So, or the feel that we're going for. So getting ready for Wargasm, that's going to be pretty exciting. So I'll be doing a bunch of tutorials on painting, in terms of terrain, and talking a little bit about what our plans are for the next little while for Wargasm. So just wanted to say thanks a lot for watching, guys. And for you guys, the few of you that came into the chat, thanks again. And let me know what you guys are looking forward to seeing in the future from a stream on this type of stuff. But probably the next one, we might even just do a little bit of a painting one, and we'll work on our terrain together. So I want to say thanks a lot for watching, guys. And obviously, again, if you like the video, hit the like button there. It really is important. Gets the word out on these things. And feel free to subscribe as well. And we'll see you in the next video.